Hey kids, welcome to Unit 7, Lesson 2, Object References as Parameters, exercise number 6. We're going to go ahead and jump into A, school clubs. Let's go ahead and see what we have to code up today. So the club sponsor class represents a sponsor of a school club and has instance variables for the name of the sponsor in the list of the club members. So two instance variables. The club member class represents a member of the school club and has instance variables for the name of the club and number of community service hours the club member has. So two instance variables. This one is club members, community service hours. A club sponsor needs to add service hours to the members of the school club. We're going to go ahead and write the code to do that. Over in club sponsor, we're going to write the add service hours method, and we are going to add the specified number of hours to a club member. This method should have a parameter for a club member object and the number of hours to add, and it's going to add the specified number of hours to the club member's object's current service hours. This isn't actually too bad. What we have to understand here is what we're trying to do. We're trying to pass off an object as a parameter. Objects are blueprints. They're of the class. What we have to remember from this is if we're going to call outside the class, we have to use that class's get and set methods. I think it'll make a little more sense if I just start coding it up with you kids. So let's go ahead and write our method signature first. Let's increase our font here so we can actually see what we're typing too. We want a public identifier. We don't want a return type, so this is going to be a void. The name is add service hours. Need some curly cues. This is going to be our end of method. And what we have to do is first we have to pass the parameters for a club member object. We have a club member object. So all we have to do is pass along a variable that'll have the name and the service hours. Let's go back here. We want to go from the club member class, and let's just pass along member. And then we also need to pass along the number of hours to add. I don't think we're going to be adding decimals, so I think that should probably be an integer, and we'll call it num hours. Now here we have to add the specified numbers of hours to the club member object. If we go over to club member, you see we have service hours. You see we have a get service hours and a set service hours method. It takes an integer. That also tells us we should probably pass along an integer, so we guessed right. Probably should have looked. And we need to access to set those hours in our instance variables. How do we write that? We're passing along a member, so we're going to call the member object. And we want to call that set service hours method. And remember, that took an integer. We probably want to get the current hours they have and then add to them so we have a complete list. Let's go member.get service hours. And then we'll add the num hours being passed along. That's it. We still have to complete some in the club runner. Let's go over there. Over here, we have to call the add service hours method and add hours to one or more of the club members. Let's go down here. If you look, we created a club sponsor and the object is sponsor. We're going to go ahead and add service hours to these members here. So I'm going to go sponsor, and we're going to go to add service hours. And what do we have to pass along? We have to pass along a member name and the number of hours. Let's go with Naomi. She has 10. That means if we add 7, we should get 17. It's going to be Naomi. I said add 7. Let's do one more. We're going to go sponsor. We're going to go add service. Let's get the spelling right. Hours. And this time, let's go to Ariana. We can add 4. That should give us 16 if I can add. And we'll add 4 hours. Now we need to print this off. System.out.println. And we're just going to print off our sponsor object. Now I should get this original list here of all my sponsors and hours. And then I should get 7 and 4 added to these two. Well, let's see if we're right or if I made some spelling errors. Looks like we got a spelling error. Looks like I put a semicolon instead of a comma. Let's go ahead and fix that. Classic error. Let's go ahead and clear and hit run. I think it's going to work now. And there you go. Started off with 10 and 12. Now I get 17 and 16. Worked out pretty good. And all we're really doing here is just passing an object along as a parameter. And we've used objects for numerous things, and they kind of wrap up or encompass all of their instance variables. This is just adding on to knowledge we've already had, kids. Hopefully you found this video helpful. As always, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, kids. Bye. Bye. Bye.